BMW's R18 is by far the most hyped and awaited motorcycle of 2020, and that's for very good reason. You see, the R18 breaks new ground for the Bavarian brand. Pleasingly, from the Concours Villa d'Est in Europe to Aussie dealerships today, the bike has retained its edge and has stayed very true to concept. So we thought, what would you do with a Cosmo smart bike like that? You'd come to the world's most cosmopolitan city, you'd take it around to all the places that you should go to, and you'd start at Cherry Bar, probably Melbourne's best bar. I've had a few beers in there. I reckon I'll get a free one tonight. Let's see. So halfway through our fantastic tour of Melbourne on the behemoth BMW R18. Interestingly, people have wanted to talk about it and look at it everywhere we pull up. Motorcycle people for sure really want to know about it, but just your general jack. So it tells me that this bike's got a lot of presence. From show pony to showroom will be interesting. Let's see if it's a volume seller. I know BMW is expecting it to be. We'll see about that, but we'll keep going around Melbourne today, show you some of the sights on the big R18. With its massive 1802cc horizontally opposed engine, the bike screams its heritage. Its stance and indeed hardware displays instant homage to the 1936 R5, so it pays tribute, but with triple the capacity of the lovely old R5, well, it's fair to say that the similarities are more to be found in the poetry than the maths. Yes, it looks vintage, but it's actually pretty technically advanced. Indeed, from concept to complete, the R18's loaded with expectation for BMW. It will be judged by this bike, and it knows it. Brave at a time when some rival manufacturers are only just daring to peek out of the window at the global motorcycle market, COVID and all that. Incidentally, certainly locally, the market's making a big comeback. That's good news for you and I think the R18 is superbly timed for that. Again, those whopping grade heads carry the heavy crown of being BMW's hero status heritage offering. Big job. This one here is the first edition, which gets pinstriping, some neat chrome bits and pieces, and that badging. And this one here has reverse gear. I was going to say that takes BMW backwards, but that's neither clever nor funny, so I won't. In fact, I used it a few times. 345 kilograms demanded when you are parked downhill, trust me. Now it's all about that engine here and that brutally delightful, ever-present torque curve. You see, again, this is the largest boxer ever built by the Bavarians. And with that comes prodigious torque numbers. Yep, the wave of power off the bottom is quite breathtaking. The bike is never making less than 150 Newton meters anywhere in the rev range. Think about that. It's like a never-ending party, blasting out of corners on that substantial band of torque. Very nice, that. Now I'm going to talk about feel here. Of course, you can see the specifications that are important on the screen, but I want to talk about emotion here, because this is an emotional bike. It's a heart purchase, and it's on that basis that I reckon it should be properly evaluated. If you want a quarter-mile screamer, well, look elsewhere. If you want a smart and efficient commuter, well, turn the page. But if your motorcycling is based around emotion, smile factor, and that warm and enveloping feeling of owning prestige hardware, this review is probably for you. Because that is exactly how this bike is going to sell, on the sensations it delivers a rider. Not much else. First up, the comfort factor. Well, it's no armchair ride, that's for certain. The pegs are placed neither forward nor back in a sort of no man's land. With that, the reach to the bars is lengthy. I have to be honest and say that I never found that sought-after fit we all chase. Looks. For mine, this thing is gorgeous. Its lines are just about perfect when it comes to delivering the heritage tag. The longer I had it, the more I fell in love. It's bloody lovely to look at. That theory was supported by the many interested folk who accosted me in the street to talk about the bike. Oh, we all love that. Be prepared to be a touch gregarious. You are going to be talking to interested onlookers just about everywhere. Yin and yang. Fit and finish is delightful. The routing of brake lines and electrics is cleverly hidden. It keeps the whole deal clean and crisp. The box is a little slow and clunky. You have to wait for it a bit, although the torque on offer inhibits the need to stir the box too often. 3-option traction control is there, smugly named Rain, Rock and Roll. Yeah, okay. In practicality, I never saw it come into play. Not that I noticed anyway. Brakes are simply great. Best current cruiser brakes out there, I reckon. There's a huge range of add-ons for the R18. In fact, there's a good chance no two bikes will be exactly the same. You'll be paying for all that though, don't worry about that. Bring your checkbook. It's a refined animal. I love the exposed nickel drive shaft. It looks classy, simple and efficient. That sort of high-end engineering makes me warm and fuzzy. The Berlin-built text printed into the simple one-clock info setup, the pinstripes, it all adds up to prestige motorcycling. Yes, that's what this bike does. It makes you feel good. So the sun sets on a day in marvellous Melbourne. We started with a scare on the scenic railway. We had a peek at the Palais. We had a light beer at the Cherry Bar, and we did a few bombs at Williamstown Beach. And all aboard the Berlin-built beastie. I've had a lot of fun with the R18 today. I've had a lot of fun showing you around the good parts of Melbourne, the great parts of Melbourne, and all aboard a BMW R18.